Good morning, friends. I am Dr. D.N. Pansare, Assistant Professor, Department of Chemistry, Devgiri College. Today, I am going to deliver the lecture on the topic of the laboratory do and don'ts. Okay, when we perform the practical in chemistry laboratory, that time we must know that the basic knowledge of the chemistry. Today's session, we have discussed which types of requirements and which types of care we have taken in the laboratory. We have discussed in details. So, welcome to the laboratory safety training. This session is designed for the lab workers in the general industry. Laboratory work requires knowledge, skill, and attention in details. Those qualities also have to be applied to all your job responsibilities, including the safety. Laboratories have a variety of the safety and health hazards. You need to understand each hazard and take proper precautions to protect yourself and your co-workers at all the times. The purpose of this training session is to the review lab safety requirement to ensure that you know to prevent accidents, injuries, and illness in the jobs. Session objectives: you will be able to understand the chemical hygiene plan, identify laboratory hazardous, takes proper precaution to protect yourself, because so many chemicals are very dangerous, so many chemicals are volatiles, okay, explosive. That time you should be the proper knowledge of the different types of the chemicals. Act effectively in an emergency. The main objective of these sessions is to make sure that you know what you need to protect your safety and health on the jobs. By the time this session is over, you should be able to understand the chemical hygiene plan, identify laboratory hazards, take proper precautions to yourself and act. Take proper precautions to protect yourself and act effectively in an emergency. What you need to know, okay, when we going to the lab performing the practical, that time you should know the basic knowledge and what you plan to do the work. Chemical hygiene plan, risk assessment, required PPE, safe work practice, and emergency responses. During this session, we will discuss the purpose and content of the chemical hygienes. Okay, because of the so many chemicals are the concentrated. When we perform the practical, many times we have taking the concentrated HCl, so then sometimes in a accident maybe happen. That's why you should the proper knowledge of the chemicals. How to access the risk you might face working in the labs. The personal protective equipment you may need to use, for example, safety goggles, gloves, shoes, like that. The work practice required to keep you safe and how to respond effectively in an emergency situations. That times in the laboratory must be present the first aid box. Also, phone is necessary. Emergency calling to the fire brigades. Basic principle of the laboratory safety: conduct a risk assessment to each lab protocols you perform. Select appropriate safety measures, maintain a safe laboratory equipment, and prepare for the emergencies. First, each lab protocol you perform, you need a conduct a risk assessment to identify all hazards associated with the operations. Second, you must select appropriate safety measure, including work practice, personal protective equipments, and engineering controls to minimize or eliminate those risks. Third, you need to maintain safety laboratory environment at all the time. This include the concern like safe housekeeping and proper storage of the chemicals. And fourth, you must prepare for the emergencies, even though we hope that by the taking the first three steps, you can avoid the fires, spills, injuries, and other emergencies. You must be prepared the deals swiftly and effectively with emergency situation should there arises. These principles form the basis of this training session. So keep them in mind as we progress from slide to slide. Chemical hygiene plan. Chemical hazardous, different types of chemicals bottles have been given the safety precautions, melting point, boiling point, and fires, catches or not. Safe work practices, procedures, and controls. Emergency procedures. The chemical hygiene plans is required to the OSHA's laboratory safety regulations. The four basic principles of the laboratory safety are the supported by our facilities chemical hygiene plan, which describes as follows. First one is that the hazards associated with the chemical present in the lab, the work practice, procedures, and control in place to protect the lab staff. All staff members should know the safety precautions in the laboratory. The emergency procedures, including the spill responses, evacuations, first aid box that you may need to take in event of an accident or other emergency accident. Sometimes may require the shower bath and water tanks provide in each and every laboratory for taking the water washing our body. Chemical hygiene plants. The OSHAs require us to evaluate control equipment and perform inspections, establish standard operating procedures, perform exposures assessments, provide medical consultations and exams, provide proper training, manage safety informations. The chemical hygiene plan also describes what management has to do fulfill the OSHA's responsibility for lab safety. We must follow the following things. Regularly evaluate lab control equipment and perform lab inspections. Each and every year we have taken the lab inspections like fire brigade or fire extinguishers, first aid box, chemicals, labeling, like that. Perform exposures assessment to monitor exposure to hazardous chemicals, vapors, and fumes. Provide medical consultations and examination as per the needed. Provide proper safety training to all the people like staff, students, and staff members. And finally, manage material safety data sheets and other safety references material in the laboratory. Have you read the chemical hygiene plan? It is important to you to read and understand the plan. If these are the anything about it you don't understand, be sure to speak your supervisions. Risk assessment. A risk assessment identifies the following important points. Steps in the operations. Second, equipment and chemicals involved in each steps. Which types of the chemicals and instruments we have performed in the practical, you should be list firstly. Hazards associated with equipments, material, and methods require safety measures. Now the review of the lab safety hazards with the first principle, which is to conduct a risk assessment for each lab protocol you perform. A risk assessment identifies the step is particular operation you are going to perform. The equipments and chemicals involved in each steps, including the chemicals names, concentrations, and volumes, the hazards associated with the equipment's material and methods. The required safety measure basis on the hazardous materials and methods. Do you perform a risk assessment for each lab protocol? You perform the things about what you will include a risk assessment for a protocol you perform regularly. Next important point is that the MSDS and labels. The MSDS tells you physical and chemicals properties, health hazards, informations, the PLs and symptoms of the exposures, how to safely handle the substances, first aid and treatment for the overexposures, right to know the informations. Okay, these are the very important factor in the laboratory. First, you should be follow the MSDS of the different types of the chemicals. One of the most important tools for the identifying the hazardous and safety measures. For the chemicals, you work with the material safety data sheets or MSDS, while label contain some safety and health informations. The MSDS contain the most complete information. This is where you can find the informations you need to conduct an accurate risk assessment. You will find the following essentials information in MSDS: the physical and chemical properties of the substances like boiling point, melting point, it is solid, liquid, or in the gaseous form. Health hazards information including the both short and long-term health effect. You should be the know. The permissible exposure limits or the PELs and symptoms of the exposures, are descriptions of the how to safely handle the substances under the normal and emergency conditions, and descriptions of first aid and materials treatment of the overexposed. It is very important. Briefly review on MSDS for the common lab chemicals, pointing out where the find necessary health and safety information. Make sure training know where they can obtain copies of the MSDS. Physical hazardous, the flammable substances, reactive substances. Okay, friends, if you have seen the chemicals bottles, then you must be observed these types of the symbols. Okay, the square in the red colors and fire's image on that. The flammable means that it is the flammable substances and reactive substances to the other chemicals are like moistures and other chemicals. Before working and with any chemicals, it is the important to understand its physical hazards. You may be the dealing with the substances that present the serious physical hazards. For examples, the flammable substances can catch the fire's chemical with low flash point or less than 100 degree. The Fahrenheit are the considered the flammable. Or others word we can say that the boiling point below 50 degrees Celsius, it is the highly flammable, like diethyl ether, pet ethers, acetone, okay, DCM. These are the highly flammable chemicals. So it should be the keep out the fire. Keep this material away from the flame and hot equipments. Keep their container closed, fume or vapors from the flammable materials can be the ignited by the electrical equipment and even the static electricities. Reactive substances can react with the other chemicals, air or waters. Some materials become the unstable over time and begin to the react with themselves. Sometimes exposure to sunlight or warm air will contribute to these reactions. Some chemicals reaction can be the explosive. Next point is the physical hazards. That is the corrosive substances, the compressed gas. Again, these types of the symbol in the sphere, 50% part is white and 50% is blue, and given the 8th number. Means on the top side, 8 number priority of these types of the symbols. Corrosive substances such as acids and the caustics will burn your skin will burn your skin and eat through others materials such as the metals. In the laboratory, if the metal like equipment like stand, okay, test tube holder and other steel material will be corrosive by the different types of the chemical, that is the oxidation reactions takes place on the metal. Corrosive can only be stored in the certain containers such as the glasses or some plastics. Be sure to wear appropriate skin protection when working with the caustics. Compressed gas cylinder can explode if exposed to heat or the shocks. Be sure to handle and store compressed gases safely. If you handle any of the chemicals in these classes, special precautions needed to be the followed. These precautions are the defined in the chemical hygiene plan. Be sure to consult the plan before you proceed. Next point is the health hazards chemicals. The short-term health, there are two types: short-term health effects and long-term health effect. We know that the many chemicals also the present health hazards. The health hazards of the hazardous chemical can be short or long term. Short term health effect means that it's include dizziness, nausea, and headaches. Other short term effect include the irritations to the eyes, nose, throat, or upper respiratory tract, that is the in throat, persist cough, whiling or the tightness in the chest pain and difficulties breathing or the shortness of the breath. Long-term health effect can include internal organ damage, reproductive problem and cancer. This is the long-term effective because so many chemicals are the toxic and corrosive. When in the laboratory, so many long times we have inhaled the fumes like benzene, bromines, these types of the carcinogenic chemicals, and they very dangerous effect on our body and human health. Next point is the exposure assessment. That is the in that the some important points that the monitoring the requirements, PLE, TLP, and notification of the monitoring the results. These are the digital instrument we have performed in the laboratory. All are symbols or readings given on the digital screen. To identify the airborne chemical hazards in the laboratory, we have also the conduct the monitoring to make sure you are not being the overexposed to the toxic fumes or vapors. If substances is regulated by an OSHA standard that requires monitoring, we will monitor exposures levels if there is the reason to believe that the exposures routinely exceed safe levels. The OSHAs determine the PEL for each regulations is regulated chemicals. If your average exposure to a chemical is below the designated PEL for an 8 hours day, no extra protections is required. However, you are exposed to the level higher than the PEL. Steps must be taken to reduce the exposures, for example, by better local ventilations and the wearing respirators. The threshold limits value or TLV is another number used to assess exposure levels. In most cases, the TLV and PL will be the same. You will find either the TLV or the PEL or both for the chemical substances in the MSDS sheets. We will notify you about the results of any monitoring we perform in the laboratory. Next point is the hazardous. Do you understand the information that has been presented so far? This is the question marks and it is shown by the fire's image. that is the hazardous chemicals. Now it's time to ask yourself, you understand the information that has been the presented so far? Do you understand what we have discussed about our chemical hygiene plan? Do you understand the hazards you face working in the laboratory? It's important It's important for your safety that you understand the chemical hygiene plans and the hazards you may encounter in your work. The answer any questions, Trini, how about the information presented in the previous slides? Now let's continue with the preview of the second and third basic principles of the lab safety, taking the proper precautions and maintain the laboratory environment. The chemical fume hood chamber. In these pictures you can see that this is the fuming hood chamber like the cupboards, but in this fuming hood chamber there are main section is vacuum is there, water circulation is there, gas circulation is there, and some stands for the hang the different types of the reactions. Also the light is there. Chemical fume hoods serves three functions. The isolate chemicals and apparatus that present physical hazards, contain spills, control inhalation exposures, use a hood for the operations that could release toxic vapors or dust. When we perform the reaction, that time some chemicals and some toxic and corrosive fumes are produced in the reactions. That time we cannot perform this reaction in the open space in the laboratory. That types of the chemicals reaction should be kept or should be performed in the fuming hood chambers. We will begin our discussion of the lab safety measure with the engineering control. Whenever the possible, we try to engineer out safety and health hazards. One of the basic control we use in the lab is the chemical fume hoods. Although general laboratory ventilations provide some airborne and contaminant controls, it must be the supplement by the local exhaust protections provided by the fume hoods. Chemical fumes hoods serves three essential functions. They isolate apparatus or the chemicals that present the physical hazards. Uh, the closed hood sash provide an effective barriers. They contain the spill that occurs when the dispensing the chemicals, and they control the inhalation exposures, protecting you from health hazards. Hood should be used for any operation that could release toxic vapors, dust like that. The standard safety rules suggest using the hood whenever working with any volatile chemicals that has the TLV less than 50 parts per million. Chemical fume hoods, when using these hoods, confirms that it is the work properly. Keep chemicals and apparatus 6 inches inside. Keep sash between your face and materials. Avoid swift hand or the body movements. Make sure item don't block airflow. When we using this type of the chemical fume hoods, confirm that the hood is working properly by checking its continuous monitoring the device. It means that the proper water circulation is there, proper current circulation is there, proper gas circulation is there like that. Keep chemicals and apparatus at least 6 inches inside the hoods. Keep the sash between your face and the materials you are working with. Avoid the swift hand or the body movement in front of inside the hoods. And finally, make sure that the material chemicals or the other items in the hood do not block airflow. When not in use, keep hood sash open 3 to 6 inches to let air flow through the hood and purge it. Think about safety procedures you are required to follow when using the chemical fuel food chambers. The required PPE kits or PPE, eyes protections, face protections, glove. In the pandemic situations, you also well know that about the PPE. What is the PPE? That is a protections equipments. You can see here the scientist wear the PPE kit. It protects his all face, also heads, also protect his body. Wearing the PPE kit, wear the gloves, hand gloves, and then perform the practicals. When engineering controls along cannot the eliminate hazards or the reduce their effect to safe levels, the personal protective equipments is required to provide a barrier between you and the hazards. A variety of the PPE may be the required for the various tasks you perform in the lab. For examples, the safety glasses or the goggles should be the worn at all times when working in the laboratory. Face shield should also be used when pouring mix or the stirring chemicals or performing any other activities that might causes the chemicals to splash up into your face. But remember, face shield do not provide eyes protections. Safety glasses or the goggles must also be the worn under the face shield. Gloves should be worn when working with almost every types of the chemicals. Different types of the gloves will protect against different hazards you may need. You may need the latex, rubber, nitriles, or butyl gloves. Consult the chemical label and or the MSDS or check with your the supervisors for the information about the selecting the right gloves for the jobs. It is very important thing that these types of gloves we have performed or use because some gloves are very light or it will be break any times. Okay, it means it is not safety. Gloves should be worn when the working with almost every types of the chemicals. Different types of gloves will protect against different hazards. You may need latex, rubber, nitrile, or the butyl gloves. Consult chemical hazards or MSDS like that. Require PP, that is the other skin protections, respirators, and footwears. In the pictures, you can see the apron is wearing other skin protections such as the lab coat, plastics, aprons, uh, Tyvek suits, or other chemicals resistant clothing may be necessary. Make sure to choose the appropriate material for protect against the hazards of the chemicals you are using. Check the MSDS or the speak to your supervisors to be sure you are using the right protections. Respiratory equipment is required if engineering control and the ventilation do not reduce the chemical exposures below safe levels. Check the MSDS and talk to your supervisor is to be sure you select the proper respiratory protections. You should also wear appropriate footwear to protect your feet. Wear sturdy shoes with the slip resistance and the chemical resistance slows in the lab. Don't wear the sandals or the flip flop because they will not protect your feet from chemical exposure or broken the glass. If you are the unsure about the type of the PPE you need, consult the MSDS and or talk to your the supervisor or teacher. Safe hygienes. Always wash after the direct exposures and before leaving the lab. Never smell or taste chemical. It should be remembered that we never take a smell or taste of the chemicals, different types of hazardous chemicals. Eat, drink, chew gum, and smoke or apply the cosmetic near chemicals. It must be the avoid. Store food in the chemical storage, that is the refrigerators, use lab equipments to the handle food. Wash always you should be maintain or follow the wash exposure skin after made direct contact with the hazardous chemicals. Also, wash thoroughly before the leaving the lab to prevent the contaminating areas outside of the lab, such as your office, cars, and home. Never smell or taste chemicals. Eat, drink, chew gum, the smoke, or apply the cosmetic near chemicals. It should be the avoid. Also avoid the store food in chemicals storage in the refrigerators, or use lab equipment such as glasswares or the utensil to handle the fruits. Laboratory equipments, glasswares, electrical equipments that use heat, equipments with moving the parts, the compressed gas cylinder. Glasswares can break using the chemicals, biological, and cut hazards. Use the right types for each jobs, and discuss the clip or the cracked glasswares. Electrical equipments create the shocks, burn, and fire hazards. Never touch electrical equipments with wet hand or while the standing or a wet floor. Report any equipment that shock or get too hot or warm. Don't attempt to do repair unless you have been the trained. Equipment that use heat like the autoclave can burn your skin. Use tongue or the heat resistant gloves. Equipment with the moving the part like the centrifuge can catch your clothes or open up suddenly, showing you with hazardous material like keep cloth and long hair away. Make sure loads are balanced. The top is the locked down and the equipment has stopped before you open it. Compressed gas cylinder can explode or contribute to the spread of the fire. Use them carefully, report leak, and make sure they are properly secured. Next point is the chemical storage basic segregations. First segregated by the state solid liquids and gases. You can see here these types of the bottles are well labeled, well cleaned, and proper storage in the proper place. Date incoming containers of the chemicals with the specific shelf life. First, you should segregate chemicals by the state or other worlds according to whether they are solid, liquid, or gases. Then, within those classification, you need to store by the hazard gases. For solid, this means segregation into the four groups: oxidizers, water reactive, flammables, and all others. For liquids, it means segregates into the five groups: acids, caustics, oxidizers, flammable, and combustibles, and perchloric acids. For gas, it means segregates into the three groups: toxic, oxidizers, and flammables. Never stores chemical alphabetically. You could be the putting the incompatible chemicals along the sides and others, because some chemicals are maybe the reactive. Also be sure to date a incoming container of the chemicals with the specific shelf life, so that you will know when any unused portion needed to be the discarded. Do you know the and follows the rules the safe chemical storage in the laboratory? Chemical stores where to store volatile, toxic, or the odoriferous chemicals in the vented cabinets, flammable solvent in the flammable storage cabinet under a fume hoods or in a safety can. Highly reactive in the locked cabinets, corrosive in the cabinets or under the fume hoods on tray. Solid on the shelves or in a cabinet. Gas cylinders secure close to the area. Means the proper chemicals should be proper in the kept in the proper place. Safe housekeeping, you can see these pictures, keeps surface clean, dry and uncluttered. Never store chemicals on the floor. Keep only necessary material on your bench. Transport chemicals safely. Be sure to have clear access to the emergency exit and equipment. This is very important that the transportation sections means concentrated chemical should be take care for the transport when you transport the chemicals from one place to another. Inspections, conduct regular lab inspections, correct and document safety problems, include emergency equipment, chemical storage area, chemical fume hoods, electrical equipment, compressed gas cylinder, emergency exit. These are the very important that you should be inspections every year. Next point is the control PPE and safe work practices. Do you understand the information presented about the engineers to control the PPE and safe work practices? Also, we have learned in the above sections or above slides. Basic first aid, the chemicals in the eyes, chemical on the body, inhalation and swelling. For chemical in the eyes, call for the help and then irrigates the eyeballs and inner surface of the eyelids with cool water for 15 minutes. Using and the eye wash stations or other water sources. Forcibly hold eyelids open to the ensure and the effective wash, removing the contact lens as soon as practical. For chemical on the body, call for the help and then remove the contaminant, clothes and footwear. Next, flood the affected body area with the water using the emergency showers or other effective water source. Remove jewelry to facilitate removal of the residual material. Do not use the neutralizing chemicals, creams or the lotions. For inhalations of the chemicals, fume or vapors, move into the fresh air. More such cases might require the administration of the oxygens. Swells chemicals require the immediate medical attention to remove the chemical from the stomachs. Basic first aids. Know where eye wash stations and the emergency shows are located. Notify your supervisor immediately if contaminated or accident may be happen in the laboratory. Get medical attentions after the washing of the chemicals. You can see in this picture, this type of the shower must be maintained in the laboratory. When the accident are happen in the laboratory, then you take the bath like this under these instruments. Next is the medical programs. Medical exam for the symptoms of the excessive exposures, consultations for the pregnant workers, first aid trains, personals, location of the emergency medical treatment. In addition, medical consultations are often provided by the employees planning to the conceive a child or those who are already pregnant. The standard also the require used to have the people trained in the first aid and CPR in the laboratory during the every worksheets. And our chemical hygiene plan list where to get the emergency medical treatment. Do you know the procedure for the obtaining the necessary medical consultation or treatment? Spill control, that is the minor spills. Alert people to the immediate area, increase ventilations, don't PPE, absorb spill with the approved absorbent, collect residual chemicals and clean up material, in seal container for the disposal. Clean spill area with water only. Before cleaning up the chemical spills, you should keep the hazards associated with the spill material. Minor spills involve the chemicals with low toxicity, where there is a little fire or reactive risk. The step involved are responding to the minor spill, including the following: alert people in the immediate area, increase ventilation by the opening a window or the turning on ventilation system. Next is the spill control, the major spill alert. There is the area to evacuate attention to injuries and contaminate. If the chemical is flammable, turn off ignition source if you can be to the safety. Evacuate closing the doors as you exist. Contain contact emergency phone there. Okay, the remaining part will be continue in our next sessions.